Today we're going to find out which amplifier sounds the best between the Boss Katana 100 Mark II single 12 version and the equivalent price in a tube amp. Here we go. Welcome back folks, this is Shane. Today's video we're going to compare two amplifiers that come in at roughly the same price. The Artist Tweed Tone 20, which is a 20 watt tube amp. It's EL84, so it's kind of like a Blues Junior, but it's kind of like a Blues Junior on steroids. It's a great amplifier, 2 channels, lots of gain. It's got a nice off clean and it's got a dedicated clean channel up against the Boss Katana 100 Mark II single 12 version. Now these are blisteringly loud, so I'm going to be running the Boss Katana on the 50 watt mode to kind of keep them comparable and to not blow my ears out. In this video I'm going to show you how both of them sound in a real world context with real drums, real bass, and how they sit in the mix with no post-processing other than just panning the tracks left and right. Each of the amplifiers will be using their dedicated channels. I won't be using any other external effects other than a wah for one particular part. I'm going to be playing the amplifiers clean, sort of like an off-clean crunch tone, and then a lead solo part. Firstly, let's start with the Boss. So there you have it, that's the Boss Katana 100 Mark II, mic'd up with an SM57 and also a Sennheiser E906. Up next, you're going to listen to exactly the same track, but with the Artist Tweed Tone 20. Here we go. So there you have it, that's both of the amplifiers in the mix. Now there was a huge difference actually playing both of them. Both of them had their pros and cons, and of course you can dial in the Katana a million different ways. And the valve amplifier, you turn it on and that's what you get. I kind of like the simplicity of the valve amplifier, but that's not to say the Katana is that complicated. I just got it onto the clean channel, got it onto the crunch channel, and then over to the lead channel for those lead parts. So overall, you can get some really cool tones. One of the things I gotta love about a tube amplifier though is the clean tones, man. The clean tones just feel nice and springy, slightly compressed under your fingers, and they just feel good to play. It also doesn't have any ice pick attack on the high end either, which is another huge benefit. Let's have a quick listen to both amplifiers with a quick clean channel sample. Let's isolate the bridge section or the chorus section of this particular track out now. And I cranked up the gain and I also had a little bit of wah. So you're gonna hear this on its own and you can make your mind up which one you like the best. And lastly, we're comparing both of the lead tones. I tried my best to dial in both of the amps, the best that I could at the volumes they were both set at. And I really like the tones I was getting out of both, and I'll comment on that more in just a moment. Alright, so as of shooting this part of the video, I've edited the rest of it and I've had a good listen back to back on all the different tracks, and there were some clear differences between both of the amplifiers. But firstly, before we get into that, I'm just going to say a lot of people will ask which is the best for home practice. Should I buy a small tube combo or should I buy a Katana? Now, if you're in an apartment or something like that, the Katana would be a far better option because you can get it down to 0.5 watts. So it's a no-brainer there. If you live in a house and you can turn it up a bit, you could go either way depending on sort of what you like. If you already have lots of pedals, go for the valve amplifier in my opinion, and if you don't, the Katana is a great option. So I'll just put that out there. Now, in terms of the differences, it was pretty eye-opening between the Katana and the Artist Tweed Tone. One thing I noticed with the Artist Tweed Tone, it almost sounded a little bit rolled out after that full frequency of the Katana. The Katana has far more top end, and I got a sound that I was happy with in the room, but it sounded far brighter than the Artist. The Artist felt really great to play, and I liked the tones I was getting out of it, but the Katana definitely had far more top end, far more low end, and maybe just a little bit less mid frequencies that kind of stick out in the mix. And that's what I really liked about the Artist slash valve amplifier, because when I did those heavy sections in the middle, or heavier sections, I shouldn't say heavy, that'll insult a lot of people, it had that sort of low end bloom chug thing that the Katana just didn't have. But the Katana had lots of other stuff going on that sounded great in the mix too. It really cut through. I gotta tell you, either of these would be a really great amp depending on your particular situation. So I gotta tell you, I'm pretty impressed just how well the Katana kept up with an actual valve amplifier. Now, I could have gone for any number of different amps and done this test, but I wanted to keep it as fair as possible. I had the same microphones on each of the amplifiers in the same position for each of the tracks and dialed in a tone that I liked with both. So yeah, there's lots to like about both of them, and I really feel like if I had have grabbed an amplifier maybe worth $1,000 instead of $500, it may have biased the test far more favorably towards the tube amp. But in terms of overall results and tones, without connecting it to the computer, just plugging a guitar in and just getting the sounds from each of the channels on the Katana, I'm pretty happy with the results. Now there's one thing to take away if you're not familiar with valve amplifiers. The Artist Tweed Tone is an EL84 amp, and the further you turn that up, you tend to lose a little bit of tops. Now I had the master volume at about 12 o'clock, and then I had the channel volume cranked, and I was starting to break up a little bit, and inherently you're going to lose a little bit of top end, but that squishy feeling of playing a valve amp feels better under the fingers for me. But they both sounded great. So let me know your thoughts if you already own one or the other, or if you're thinking about getting a Boss Katana or some other valve amplifier. I see these questions come up all the time. Please let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks again, catch you soon. See ya.